Yes, I do. It should be Kelsey and Amber. Um, all right, we're gonna go ahead and get started. I'll go ahead and put the agenda up so everybody knows what is going on. Soren, you did confirm that we meet quorum? Perfect. All right, everybody please be quiet. No side talking while we are conducting business. We're gonna have our call to order. Chloe will go through the roll just to make sure who's here is supposed to be here. We don't have any minutes this week, so we will not be approving minutes for, does Josh have? Jeff? Oh, okay, good. So we don't have minutes to approve from last week, so we will not be approving any minutes from last week. Next week we will. So let's begin with open forum. Is anybody here to speak in open forum? Seeing none, we will go ahead and move right along to speaker's podium. For speaker's podium, we have Assistant Vice President and Director of Student Engagement. You all know him, you all love him, Mr. Josh Neves. Here you go.
All right, thank you, Landry. Oh man, I don't know. I don't always get a clapping applause. Makes me happy.
We got an emoji.
Yeah. Shout out to all my virtual attendees. All right, so the e-board asked for me to come speak to y'all, and so I was going to take the opportunity. I wear multiple hats. So as Landry introduced me, I am both the assistant vice president, one of the assistant vice presidents for student success, and my other hat is also the director of student engagement. But before I jump into what I'm going to talk about, I'm going to put on another hat, and that is my hat as SGA advisor. I do serve as your advisor to this organization. I will often, in most cases, always in these meetings. One of the largest starts students who are interested in joining student government, and so I think that speaks to y'all's recruitment efforts. One of the things I want to say as advisors is really important where a lot of action takes place. Oh no. We need some new batteries. These meetings are super important because this is where all the business gets taken care of. And then the other 50% of your job is go to your committee meetings. This is my yearly reminder that SGAC is one of my most important committees. We got to get rocking and rolling on those because we already have student groups who are requesting money, and we got to make sure that that you are doing your job in representing the students. So we got to get rocking and rolling. When you're at these meetings, my expectation is for you to represent the college or your group that you're representing. You know, make sure that you're taking the time to going out, asking questions, what's going on, the good, the bad. You need to be representing what's happening. Try to refrain from representing individual issues. We really want to focus on big issues at hand. And so if it is a problem that every student is having, yeah, we need to talk about it. And so sometimes your individual problems or challenges might be a lead to figure out, okay, does everyone having this problem or is it just me? And so typically, if we start hearing that it's more individual, you know, that's a conversation we'll have outside of that. And so other than that, I look forward to the semester. I think y'all have got a good group of leaders. Every year is a different year, and we never know what kind of topics that we're going to have as we encounter a new academic year, but it's already shaping up to be a really good semester so far. And hopefully your classes are going well. So that's my 2 cents as advisor. So now I'm going to put my main hat back on. And so real quick by show of hands, and then for those on Zoom, use the clapping emoji. Clap on Zoom or raise your hand if you went to any events that occurred last week. Okay. Or this week, because nursing started this week, and I know the Houston campus had an event. this week as well. Okay. I see some. Yeah. Okay. Just you can shout it out. You don't have to be called on. What was y'all's opinion? Good, bad, not enough, too much? See head nod. Okay, good. Thumbs up. Thumbs up. Okay. It was fun. That's good to hear. I hope it, we want to make sure it's fun. Good welcome week. Say it again. A lot of good things. Okay. T-shirts. Everybody enjoys t-shirts. T-shirts are pretty good. Okay. Okay. Pick your party. Okay. So one of the updates is the team. And so in the Department of Student Engagement, we've had some changes. And so our campus activities coordinator is no longer with us. We are actively searching for a new campus activities coordinator. So the department came together to make sure that all the activities that occurred last week, as well as the activities on the distance campuses, we wanted to make sure that still happened, because we want to make sure that y'all have the best start to your fall semester. And so I wanted to make sure that that was meeting the students' expectations. So I got two more things. I want to make sure everybody is aware, because I always do this. Where do you go to find out what's happening on campus? Yes, Patriots Engage. And so I say that for the official minutes. Easiest way to get to Patriots Engage is uttyler.edu/engage. That will take you straight to Patrons Engage. And so really encourage your students to be checking that out. If they see an event they want to attend, make sure they RSVP, because they'll get those auto reminders. And then student groups. I see a lot of leaders of student organizations. Make sure your student organization is fully registered. That process is also facilitated through Patriots Engage. And that also goes for the distance campuses as well. Everything is housed and engaged. So make sure to do that. One of the topics I wanted to address, because it's not well, y'all might be okay with it, but I want to make sure that students are properly informed, is that one of the fee changes that the Board of Regents passed this past spring was an increase in the new student programs fee. The new student programs fee is a one-time fee that is applied to new students. So the fee passed, in which we increased it, and we changed the language to where it will apply to not just freshmen. It is now going to apply to all new students, first year and transfer students. That is phase one of our intended plan. Phase two now is to get final approval to make transfer orientation mandatory. Right now, orientation is only mandatory for freshmen. We believe, to help with our engagement efforts and retention efforts, that transfer orientation, it needs to be mandatory. In doing so, we will be in line with our other UT schools, and you might already be thinking of it. It is different for freshman orientation. It is not the same experience. And so we will offer different tracks. We'll offer our traditional track, in which it's 1 day. We plan on offering a half-day track, express track, and of course, the online track. And so we are looking at using that fee change to be able to fund those activities, to also look at potentially hiring another professional, so that way we can provide ongoing transfer programs to our new transfer students, as well as maybe a transfer organization and additional transfer programs. It's not just for orientation. The fee also helps freshmen to ensure that swoop camp remains free. That was a big change that was implemented last year. I believe it was last year, where students no longer had to pay $150. And so that way we can try to get every freshman to come to swoop camp. By a show of hands, who has gone through swoop camp? Quite a bit, about half. We want to see more. And so Swoop camp is everything that orientation is not. Orientation is all the official stuff that we have to comply with laws, and we officially told students about, Title IX, public safety. Swoop camp is nothing but fun, and so we want to make sure that every student has the opportunity to attend those programs. And we felt that transfers also need that additional support. So I wanted to officially inform student government that change is now on the horizon. The fee's already passed. Now the next phase is to make the orientation mandatory. Are there any questions about the fee or transfer orientation program becoming mandatory? Yes. You want to run?
So for the transfer orientation, is that going to be like all transfers, or is there going to be like where there's still that like credit stipulation?
Nope, all transfers. So the credit stipulation will essentially disappear. The credit stipulation will decide which program you do. So if you're over 30 hours, you're going to be on the transfer track.
Okay.
However, we still have transfer students that request to join the freshman track, and we will still allow that to happen as well.
Okay.
If we get enough requests, we will create a track that is similar to the freshman experience just for transfer students.
Follow-up question on that really quick. So with like the fee increase and making it mandatory, will that also change like the structure of transfer orientation?
That is correct.
Instead of
So
just
we
being
would
that
potentially start
one-day thing?
transfer orientation as early as April. That's correct. I think that in system, UT Arlington starts theirs in April. Well, that's a good question. So we want to design different tracks. So the question was, will the program be similar to how it is now, to where they just sit in a room and get all the information? That options will still be available to students. However, we will have different options available based on what the student would like to do. And so, because some students who, let's say you're a senior transferring in and you already have 90 hours, you probably just want to do the mandatory. I want to know how to sign up for classes, pay my bill, and probably get the mandatory information. We'll try to create an express track, or maybe they want the online track. And so we now have enough resources to make sure that we can hire more leaders, because I don't think we are hiring enough OLs and camp leaders, as well as paying them well. And so that we can now adjust that, and we can also invest in a more robust online system other than Canvas. Because Canvas, there's some limitations to that as far as doing an online orientation to make sure that it's engaging. We want something that is engaging online, especially if we're going to require some of our, transfer students who are strictly in an online program only. We need to make sure that the online program is given a similar experience to the in-person.
Tina has a question in the chat.
Yes. How much is that fee going to be now? The new fee is now $225. It is an increase of $100 from last year. And it is still one of the lowest new student programs fee in UT system. And so when we looked at doing the increase, we wanted to see how much we needed to execute these programs. And we wanted to see what our sister institutions were doing to make sure that we stay on the same level compared to the other schools. Any other questions? Questions at all? Anybody? I like for healthy debate. Is there anybody that is against the site? Do you feel that other students are going to be in favor of this?
If y'all like, y'all are more than welcome to speak up as well.
Yes. This is open forum, so y'all can speak up.
I mean, honestly, I feel like other students would be pretty like receptive to it for the most part, just because I mean, it contributes to them having a more positive and engaging experience for the most part, because it means you guys can also have bigger and more lavish events, I guess. So I guess it gives you guys more space for programming at the most part, which I think would be a lot better.
When we looked at the fee, we wanted to try to match what we're doing for freshmen. We want to make sure it's a consistent experience across the board for all new students. And so when we looked at how much it was in cost, we're trying to match both sides. So that's why eventually, if we have enough funds, we're going to try to hire another person. So that way it's an equal service to students, whether you're a freshman or transfer.
There's a question in the chat first. Will in-person transfer orientation options be available for remote campus?
That's a good question. Yes. So right now, the Houston campus used to be mandatory. And so that is something that now, by making this a university level requirement mandatory, it will be required for all of the students on all of our distance campuses to go through. So Houston, Longview, Palestine, online. The Health Science Center right now is already mandatory. So they already went through their orientation the week before school starts. And so we're in line across the board. And so I'm personally excited about some of the distance campuses because right now it has historically kind of been up in the air, and now it's for sure going to happen. And we'll still, we definitely will do an in-person on those campuses, but we will still offer it online to make sure that if students are not able to attend in person, they can still do it online and still get that same experience or as close to an experience as possible.
Wonderful. Thank you so much.
Okay, so the seniors that transfer in, they got hit with this fee and the new graduation fee. Okay, I just wanted to.
That is
clarify
correct.
that.
Yeah, and so it's kind of one of those things. What comes first, the chicken or the egg? We're not able to implement the program without the funding for that. This. I'm not sure where I cut out, but yeah, students were hit with the fee this fall semester. However, students, especially those who are new this semester that were charged the fee, were able to still utilize transfer orientation. We did see a slight increase in some of our transfer orientations already, not by much because it's an optional program, but we still plan on doing some programming this fall and this spring, including virtual events for those populations. Now, for the students who, it's only strictly new students. And so if they have been here, then the only fee that you mentioned would be the new graduation fee. But new students still have April. Correct. Unless you are a first year student, you've already paid your new student fee. We're not going to go back and charge the difference because you've already utilized orientation. You already utilized boot camp, and that is a big bulk of what that fee covers. The rest of the fee, you're still eligible to participate, whether you're a first year student or not, in the programming that we provide for students.
So I was curious. So I've had probably a dozen different conversations this past couple of weeks with transfer students who are looking for a building, looking for where to go on campus. And they're like, yeah, this is my first time here. And I didn't really have a tour of campus. I really don't know where anything is. Is that something that's going to be included in the orientation? Because I know like over the summer, OL leaders or orientation leaders were doing all the tours.
Another reason for why orientation needs to be mandatory.
Okay.
Is because that's part of what we already provide as part of the orientation program. And it's not just a tour of campus. It's, where's the best place to park? I bet I might hear a parking comment later in the meeting. But usually the first 2 weeks of school are pretty rough with parking until things settle down and students figure out their schedules. We have plenty of parking. It's not convenient. I get that, but we can address some of those challenges that students face. Where's a good place to study? Instead of trying to wait a couple of weeks to figure that on your own, the OLs can help knock that out of orientation. We do things differently from other schools, and processes are different, services are different. And so by making sure students get the information at orientation, we're at least helping students have the ability to start off on the right foot. And that's what we want. That's good. Good comment. Good question. Any other questions? Okay. My one request is for y'all to go out, tell students, especially if they're transfer students, they might be curious on why in the world they were charged this fee. That's what the fee's for. They're able to utilize the service right now. You know, and moving forward, I'm hoping to see even more programs and services as we tackle this. And so I see several former OLs and camp leaders. That means hopefully we can start changing some of the perks for being an OL as well as the structure and hopefully attract even more OLs. We're going to need a lot more OLs because right now we offer 7 freshman sessions and 3 transfer orientations, 2 in the summer, 1 in January. That means we're going to have to do a lot more orientations. And so we want to make sure we have the strongest team, largest team possible to make sure that we provide the best experience possible. Okay, that's why I wanted to come talk. Hopefully I didn't go over, I went over my time limit, so I apologize. Do y'all ever have any questions, whether it's student engagement, the Division of Student Success, or even SGA, you're always welcome to come chat with me. I have an open door policy. If I'm there, my door's open, I'm fair game. New swag is coming in. I just got mouse pads yesterday. And so if you're interested in getting a mouse pad, come chat. And so it has the new athletic mark. So more swag is on the way, socks, lanyards, notepads, and especially for those on our Zoom, our distance campuses, once we get everything in, we're going to also distribute that to our distance campuses. So that way distance campus students have an opportunity to also get the swag. So okay. We'll go back up. I didn't see. Yep. Thank you for that. Thank you for the comment. That's a lot of those were reasons why we believe it needs to be mandatory. Believe it or not, we started this process. We're in 2022, I believe spring of 20. And so Faculty Senate is the one who started this conversation, and it's just taken us time to get the fee to change. And now we're going to hopefully wrap up this full process in the next couple of weeks and get ready for next orientation cycle. So it's great to hear the comments. If you do have concerns, we do want to hear the concerns as well. We know it's not going to be a popular decision with everybody. And so we want to try to help address as many concerns as possible and ease any concerns that students might have. As a reminder, it is a new student programs fee. It's not an orientation fee. It covers orientation and transfer programs and new student programs. So because it's for both freshmen and transfers. And just for record, it does not apply to graduate students at this time. Okay, thank y'all.
Thank you, Josh. Yes. Clapping emojis are also welcomed. Very informative. Thank you. So moving right along to officer reports. I will go first. So this past week, much of the work that I've been doing was for helping get the fall election going. Some of you are in the fall election here. So that's exciting to see people on the ballot. It's excited to see the amount of interest. I do not have numbers on who all has attended a candidacy meeting, but as of last night, we had, I think, 22 submissions for the fall election as far as applying to be a senator. So that is exciting, and can't wait to have them come in once September, I think 12th gets around. I believe that's what it was. But yeah, so that's some of the things that I've been working on. I got to meet with the director of facilities this past week, and we discussed some accessibility changes that could be made to the campus, especially located at the Met door. So hopefully the ball might get rolling on that. Other than that, the week's been kind of a blur for me. So that's those are the big things that have stuck out. I'm gonna go ahead and move right along to Vice President Bennett.
So pretty much a lot of what I've been working on is getting our events ready for the year. One of the things that I've been tag teaming with Treasurer Luna on is so for Final Spags, we pretty much are going around to different departments around campus and just getting any of the flag tee stuff that they're wanting to throw away. And so we'll be putting it in the Final Spags for the students whenever it comes around to it. And another thing that we're going to be doing with that is that we're going to kind of have college specific finals bags too. So like I got some College of Business water bottles. Justin's checking in with the College of Education and Psychology to see if there's anything else. And then I'll be talking with Valerie and events committee next week to see about nursing. And then at Macy, do y'all have anything over there? No? Okay. But we'll just kind of be looking around to see what we can do. And yeah, that's pretty much been my week.
Secretary Dix.
I have just been working to keep our social media updated with all of the back to school events that are going on and sharing any opportunities for the free food, like the taco trucks and the t-shirts. And I've been trying to attend as many of those events as I can. So to also post like videos that I've taken being at the events. I have been updating the website, all of the new senators. You guys are all on there underneath your college. So that's exciting. I updated the committees page and am working to familiarize myself more with the website. Another thing that I did is I'm working on posts. Well, I have posted some of them that sign up is open for new senators and what colleges are open. And I have also made one for when elections begin. So make sure you guys share those on your social medias. I do see them. So it really helps if you share them. So thank you.
Treasurer Luna.
Yes. Hello, everybody. So right now I'm working on an idea of what we're going to do with the budget, and hopefully we get to show you guys so we know what we're working with, especially for SGAC. Like last week and a couple days before, I've been working on having new like Excels for all the SGAC stuff and like everything that we need for all that stuff. So hopefully it's going to be a lot easier to read, a lot neater. I want to show you guys everything, and I want to be transparent as much as I can, so everyone knows what's going on. Very excited. If you guys are interested, we'll be meeting on Wednesdays 4 to 5 p.m. and I'm gonna send the Zoom link out soon. Yes.
Chief of Staff Peters.
Yeah, so recently I've just been working on updating the Constitution to reflect the changes that were voted on last spring by the Senate. So that's an update to the list of colleges, and then like a change to the e-board voting status. So yeah, and then also working on getting Rules Committee up and running, like picking a time. So yeah.
Awesome. And just an FYI, as of right now, the executive board can vote until it is approved by the vice president of student success. So just saying that, just so if you see the executive board voting, don't be like, why are you doing that? But awesome, good stuff. So moving right along to committee reports, and I'm going to do it this way because I know not every committee met this week, which is fine. Committees should start meeting this next week, but which committees met this week? I know events did, correct? Was there any other committees that met this week? No. Okay. Then if you wouldn't mind passing it to Robert or to a representative that was on your committee.
So we talked about multiple things, kind of just went through the expectations of events committee and then the different ideas that of events that was developed over the summer. And so we talked about Constitution Day, and we do, Josh, do we have the budget now for that? Beverly, do we have the budget now?
We will discuss
Oh,
that this coming week.
Okay. That'll be talked about later then. We talked about midnight breakfast, the big one in the fall. We'll be looking at different ideas. We got a lot of ideas, and we're thinking about changing things up, like getting rid of the donut bar. It was kind of unanimous decision in the committee to get rid of
X out. Just use this one.
What about now? Yeah, there we go. Okay. And so we'll be having we're looking at a midterms election watch party, finals bags. Like I said, we're going around getting different stuff from different departments done. And so that's for the fall, and for the spring, we'll be getting there. So stay tuned.
The question was the date of when midnight breakfast would be, and it would be what was it, the week before Halloween or the Wednesday before Halloween? It's the 26th, I believe. Yes. All right. Moving right along to student voice reports. If you did not have anything to report that week, that is completely fine. I know we're just getting started and everything, but we'll go ahead and start with the College of Engineering. If you have something to report, feel free. Nothing to report? Okay. Anybody online? Jorian?
Yes, sir. I just wanted to say, that Houston finally did have its welcome back event this week. We lagged behind you guys a little bit, but everything went great. We had a great turnout, and we're happy to get some events started here in Houston as well. So everything went great there.
Awesome. All right. Moving right along to College of Arts and Sciences. Anything to report this week? No.
I have some.
Awesome. Go ahead.
I do. I don't know if you can hear me. Oh, you can? Okay. So there used to be statues and like art all around campus. I know it was part of a national exhibition, and I noticed that is no longer on campus. I believe the exhibition has ended, but I'm wondering what we're doing to get art back on campus. Or if that exhibition is like a yearly thing, it's going to be continual. I know with the previous presidents, I think 2 presidents ago, we had to the art department had to fight to get those back on campus, and I don't want to see it fall under again.
So I will be completely honest. I have not heard anything about that right now.
Okay.
But I'm sure there might be some advisor comments potentially at the end of the meeting about that. So we will wait on those comments afterwards. Does that sound good?
That sounds good. Yes. Thank you.
Perfect. Any other anything else to report for College of Arts and Sciences? No. Okay, cool. Perfect. School of Nursing.
So our classes started this week. So we're just doing, first week of nursing school, just check out dose cal, all that stuff. But I ran into Dean Chilton in the hallway today. She caught me, and we're having a bunch of events. Or during the summer, we talked about just having more fun in the nursing school, because every time you walk in there, it's a cloud of stress and it's not fun. So we talked about implementing more fun things. So we've had ice cream floats yesterday. We had popcorn today. We're having a coffee truck next week. And then I'm just working with her and planning more events. Definitely going to have a volleyball tournament again. That was super fun. We had that during the summer. Maybe something more with including the professors. Someone suggested a pool party. I was like, I don't know if I want to see my professors in that capacity. So, so maybe not that, but maybe karaoke or something. I don't know, just something to make it more fun, because nursing is stressful and that's not fun. So, just all of that. And then we're working on strategies to reduce stress. So we'll be meeting about that. And that's really all I have.
Thank you. And so next is Liberty Landing, but Adon is not here, so we will just move right along to old business. And considering that this is the first time that we are meeting, there is no old business. So we will move right along to new business. So we have judicial board appointments. We have 2 appointments here. And I'm happy to say that we will actually be starting the year off with a full judicial board, which is nice. We have Chloe Burleson, who will serve as our Chief Justice, And then we have Kat Chamberlain, who will serve as one of our associate justices. And so in addition to Chloe and Kat, Shelby Kipp will be nominated to the judicial board. Alicia Govea will be nominated to the judicial board, and Audrey Harris will be nominated to the judicial board, and they will be sworn in at a later date. But so if y'all wouldn't mind standing up and reciting the oath. Let me pull this up real quick. It's kind of hiding behind. All right. So if you would raise your right hand and repeat after me. I insert name. Do solemnly swear that I shall faithfully represent the interest of the student body of the University of Texas at Tyler. I shall dutifully uphold and preserve the Constitution and bylaws of the Student Government Association while ardently executing the office of insert position. There you go. For the student body at the University of Texas at Tyler. All right, congratulations. Thank you. Feel free to clap. All right. Then we will move right along. Hold on, need this to go away. There we go. All right, and so I'm going to talk about advising. So I entertain a motion to discuss advising. All right, it was carried by Senator Vargas and seconded by Senator McNamara. So I was approached by Ashley Bill, and she was wondering if we would like to start another working group to discuss advising and any issues related to it. I know after speaking with multiple of you who were involved in the ad hoc committee last year in the working group that y'all only met once. And so I kind of wanted to ask y'all what if we were to create another ad hoc advising group, what you would like that to look like and what you would kind of want to see from that working group. Because I know personally, if I'm going to try and create another ad hoc committee, I would like y'all to meet probably at least once a month, not once a year. So is there any opinions, any suggestions? Yes.
I think the meeting was good. I think the only people in here that were on it was me and Justin. And that first meeting was primarily just our experiences with advising, which I think is productive. I think that those conversations need to be had. The things that I would probably like to see, by means of like initiatives would be, I'm trying to think of how to word this. Like small groups of people within the committee that have specific jobs, like whether it's checking in with students and then reporting back. And then so during those monthly meetings, like we have things to talk about, but in regards to the advising, just communicating with the advisors what they need. And if they need us to, like, if they're too busy, maybe there's something that we can do. Maybe they could be in the committee if that's possible. So those are just some things that come to mind.
And I think it'd also be great to have representation from every class because your experience with advising is drastically different as a freshman than compared to if you were a senior or even a graduate student, which that's a whole different ball game altogether. So I think that would be really great to see.
Honestly, like the biggest thing would probably be to have consistent meetings for most definitely on that. Number two would probably to have like those follow-up conversations, maybe just because we had that initial meeting where we did talk about our experiences, but then, we talked about, us going out to talk to students and stuff, finding out what they would be interested in for, advising solutions or changes they would like to see. And then, yeah, nothing followed up on that. So.
Any other comments? All right. Seeing none, I entertain a motion to close discussion on advising. Carried by Senator Vargas, seconded by Senator B. Black. All right, so seeing that there is no other topics to discuss, I'm going to move right along to advisor comments. Also, if there's a senator initiative to get new microphones, I'm not going to say I'm for it, but I'm not going to say I'm against it.
No, we're gonna office supplies. Beverly's working on it. Yep. On the art, so. Oh yeah, batteries. So I'm gonna get closer to the thing so that way it doesn't die. So on the artwork, so over the years we have had some confusion and questions on how the artwork is displayed across campus. There's been some years where when it wasn't clearly communicated and it was just popped up overnight. There's typically a process for that. And so I went back while the meeting was going, I went back and looked through the policies, looked at every policy, and also looked at what we're working on. There is a pending policy that will clearly outline the process for academic departments to have long-term exhibits, because that's what it is an outdoor exhibit, artwork that's on display. Right now, historically, departments and student groups are able to have displays across campus up to 14 days. That process is facilitated through me. And so all you gotta do is contact me. We'll schedule a meeting. We'll identify where we would place the artwork, but then it's only good for 14 days. And so if it's gonna be longer than 14 days, that goes outside my authority, and we have to loop in more departments, physical plant, marketing, more than likely the space committee, because the space committee determines how space is used on campus. Yes, there is a committee for space because we don't have enough until we build new buildings. And so space committee determines where things go in the meantime. So that is a good question. I'm a fan of the artwork that has shown up over the years. I think it kind of gives a different feel to campus. It feels like you're on a college campus. You see it on a lot of other campus, but when it becomes permanent for a very long period of time, there's a lot of people that has to decide on the impact and is that on how that's going to impact all the different departments that use space on this campus. And so if it's something within 14 days, all I gotta do is contact me. And as long as they're a registered student organization or an academic unit, we can make that happen. Any questions on the artwork? Okay. Yes, Beth.
My question's not necessarily on the artwork, but on how you said to contact you if we were gonna do like anything for 14 days. Is that also for like when people are donating things and they leave something there to like leave stuff there?
Donation bins. Yes. So donation, that's a tricky one. And so historically that for donation bids, it is up to the office that oversees that space. The artwork, the exhibit, according to the policy, speaks to more outdoor space. It's a good question. Otherwise, if it is a very short-term space, like I need to reserve a classroom or I need to reserve an info table, all that is through Astra. And then my team will look at that as well as the scheduling services.
So is there like a map or a graph to show like which spaces belong to which? No. Okay.
No, there is not. And so, yeah, there's not.
Okay.
Everything typically defaults to our office. Astra has all the spaces listed. And then when there's a space that's not listed, all they have to do is outreach to us. And if it's something that becomes a common request, we'll add it to Astra. So that way other groups can request it. But just about anything on campus you can request.
Okay, because I know that the Okay. Because I know like in front of the Fine Arts Center over by Patriot Village, that's where kind of like all the artwork
Yep.
went. And so I was just trying to figure out like where this ends and that begins and everything. Okay.
And Mike might not
Range.
reach that far.
Hmm.
Mike might not reach
Yeah,
that far.
might not reach this far. So
So the question is, will there be any space allocated for recycling efforts, especially for the resident facilities? That's something right. Okay. I have Bonnie Davis, who is over in our facilities. She's part of the facilities team, does a great job. She's been spearheading a lot of our recycling efforts. Last year, SGA had a environmental sustainability committee. I don't know if sustaining, so it is a standing committee. So that is a good project for that committee to follow up and work on. To my knowledge, I have not heard any updates if there are going to be other bins where students can take their items. And so I think that's a good project. It could be a funding issue, which could then be a good senator project and to help allocate for more bins and potentially even more marketing to help get students more aware where all the bins are. And so I think that's a good project for the committee to look into and provide an update on where are we with those efforts. Any other questions? Good questions. Okay, my other comments. Oh, yes.
This is kind of a random question. It kind of has to do with artwork, but also just like student engagement. I know, like, I think it was last year we had like the big Connect Four set and like the checkers set out on the plaza.
Still have them.
Do we still have them?
We still have them.
Okay. Are they just
They're in
stored?
storage. We can pull
They're
them
in
out of
storage.
storage. If
Okay.
students want,
I just didn't know, is that something to where like it was a 14-day thing, or if that was.
I think they got put up because, you know, we were heading into summertime and also usage. You know, if we see that students are not utilizing different things, we're going to put it away because we want to preserve it. And so definitely, I was in long-term storage not too long ago, and I saw the Connect Four. So I know Connect Four is there. I know I've seen a lot more of the, what's that called? Cornhole boards. And so we do still have some of the outdoor activities that we can quickly roll out.
Okay, cool.
Anytime. Yeah. I think the University Center staff would be a good team to reach out for any time. If you reserve the plaza and you need access to those equipment, just touch base in advance and they can help provide it.
Okay,
free of
thank you.
charge. Talk about there have been that is a good comment. And so I think facilities is the best point of contact. They need to know when classrooms are not being cleaned properly. And so that way, when you walk into an 8 a.m. class, hopefully most of y'all don't have 8 a.m.s, but if you do have an 8 a.m., you want to walk into a clean room, right? It never needs to be dirty from the night before. There's either two reasons for that. Either it didn't get cleaned, or a group used the facility the night before and it wasn't on the books. And so that means we're going to start locking rooms more if student groups or study groups are not reserving the space properly. Because that might not be on the cleaning company, that might be on the group who generated all that trash. And so typically the facilities will clean based on the last activity that is officially in Astra. And so, but if it becomes a consistent thing, I would definitely let facilities know. You can reach out to me directly and I can give you the point of contact so we can get that addressed, or I can send it in for you as well. That's good feedback. Yep. So 2 weeks, I think so we need to report that. So definitely happens again. Just take a picture of it, send it to me, and I'll be happy to forward that over so that way we can make sure it is getting cleaned up. It's a safety concern to me as well. I mean, for a lot of reasons, especially if it's in labs. That worries me. Yep. Any other questions? You can ask me anything. Typically, my advisor comments, short, sweet. I give my 2 cents. Great meeting, great start of the meeting. Usually the first meeting's not this long. That's a good thing. And so kudos for having a good meeting. I'm looking forward to seeing this entire room full after fall elections and continue to rock and roll. If you're on the SGAC committee, and once again, get going. Yes. Yeah. Oh, I don't know. That's a first
Actually, so I work for Sodexo.
Yeah.
We're having.
Repeat the
Oh,
question.
he asked about the Starbucks in the business building. But to clarify, there's actually 3 Starbucks on campus. There's one in this building. It's actually right down the hallway. There's one in the CAS building, and then there's one in the pharmacy building as well. We're just currently, I'm a nursing student, so we're trying to work my schedule around when they have it open. But we also only have like 4 baristas currently hired and ready to come back. So they're working on it. We're trying to get that back open. But it's just there's a lot of scheduling conflicts that are and ordering backlogs, and it's a mess. We're getting it. We're getting it.
Yep. So hopefully it's up and running soon. If you know students who are looking for an on-campus job, Sodexo is hiring a lot of positions in all facilities. And so it's definitely a good opportunity. And so I definitely encourage, because we want to keep these amenities open, but sometimes that only happens if we have enough employees to do that. Yes. The comment was that the UC, both ops and the welcome desk, did I say that right, are both also hiring as well.
And the
And I see
HBC.
Ashland, so I'm going to go ahead and say it too. HBC. Oh, okay. HBC is hiring intramurals refs as well. Okay.
And I don't know why I emailed her, but is the 19.5-hour rule a federal law? Or is that
It
just a
is
UT
associated
system?
with the Affordable Health Care Act. So
Okay.
anybody that goes over the 19 and a half hours is then becomes eligible for insurance
Okay.
to be
Okay.
provided by the employer. It would be very costly, but we had to start paying. I think it's based on a year. So I think HR has determined. The question was, well, why are students allowed to work more than 19 and a half hours over the summer? It's based on a 12-week period. And so because it's under a 12-week period in the summer, they make an exception for summertime. And so that's what I have been informed. A good follow-up. You sound like you contacted system. System should know the answer for that as well as our HR team. And so we could bring in HR as a guest speaker to address why students are not allowed to work more than 19 and a half hours and to see if there's any other solutions besides that or what it would take to make that happen. Because there might be. Yeah. Yeah. The rule does not apply to Sodexo. There you go. If you want to work more than 19 and a half hours, you get paid. Sodexo's high. Okay. All right. Keep up the good work. If you ever need anything, y'all can contact me anytime. I'll turn it back over to Landry.
All right, just a few announcements. Just a few announcements before we go. We are having nominations eventually for the environmental sustainability committee chair. Since it is a standing committee and we don't have technically an officer on the executive board that is assigned to that committee, it is a special election within the Senate for it. So we will likely have nomination or hold a session where we nominate people within the next 2 weeks, probably. I would like to include freshmen in on that conversation and all of our incoming senators. In addition to that, make sure that you are assigned to a committee. And if you are not assigned to a committee yet, I will be contacting you probably tomorrow or during the weekend and asking you which committee you will be on. And then I will also be reaching out to you individually about university committees because there are spots that need to be filled on university committees. If you don't know what those are just committees that not necessarily operate as oversight, but in some cases they do. But for stuff like, say, the student engagement office or for student success or academic affairs, there's various committees that we send SGA representatives to. And then, of course, we've kind of already discussed fall elections are coming up. Tell people if you know them that that they want to run, tell them to go sign up. The email should be in their email. And yeah, we're always looking to expand. Robert? The last day to sign up is September 9th at 12 p.m. So, and in addition to that, you have to make sure that you have a candidacy meeting. So realistically, the last time to sign up is probably Wednesday, that Wednesday. September 9th is a Friday. But you have to make sure that you have enough time in order for Josh to be able to meet with you and conduct a candidacy meeting. So make sure that people are aware. And yeah, so I now entertain a motion to adjourn this meeting. Carried by Senator Vargas, seconded by Senator McNamara. All in favor, please raise your hand or do a thumbs up emoji. All opposed, please do a thumbs down emoji or raise your hand. Any abstentions? Seeing none and seeing that it passes unanimously, this meeting is adjourned.